years. The Prodigal Son, a story of redemption. In a quiet village, nestled among rolling hills and golden fields, lived a wealthy man with 2 sons. His lands stretched far, and his servants tended to every need. His older son was hard-working and faithful, while the younger son, full of restless ambition, longed for adventure. One evening, the younger son approached his father. "Father, give me my share of the inheritance now," he demanded. His father looked at him with sorrow, but granted his request. With a heavy heart, he divided his wealth and gave the young man his portion. The very next morning, the son packed his belongings and set off for a distant city. There, he lived lavishly, spending his fortune on feasts, fine clothes, and reckless pleasures. He surrounded himself with friends who laughed and drank at his expense. But soon, his riches were gone. His so-called friends vanished, and misfortune struck the land. A terrible famine spread through the city. Hunger clawed at his stomach, and desperation led him to seek work. The only job he could find was feeding pigs, an unthinkable disgrace for a man of his people. Day after day, he stood among the swine, watching them eat while he starved. His heart ached, and he thought of home. Even his father's servants had more than enough food. "What have I done?" he whispered. "I will return to my father. I will tell him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you.
10 says,
I am no longer
"So
worthy
do not
to be
fear,
called your son.
for I am with you.
Let me be
do not be
as one of your
dismayed,
hired
for I am your
servants."
God. I will
With nothing
strengthen
but
you and
torn
help
clothes
you.
and
I
a
will
repentant
uphold you
heart,
with my righteous
he began
right
the
hand.
long journey home.
Remember, God is
As he neared
always
the
by your
village,
side,
his
ready
father
to
stood on
lift
the
you
porch,
up and
gazing
guide you
into the
through any
distance.
storm.
For days,
Trust in him
no,
and
for
let your
years,
faith overcome
he had
fear.
watched, hoping
Subscribe
for
and
his son's
stay
return.
blessed.
And then, on this very day, he saw a familiar figure walking toward him. Tears welled in the father's eyes. He did not wait. He ran faster than he had in years. He ran to his son, wrapped him in his arms, and wept. "Father," the son cried, falling to his knees, "I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But his father lifted him up. "Nonsense. You were lost, and now you are found." He turned to his servants. "Bring my finest robe and put it on him. Place a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Prepare the fattened calf. We will feast and celebrate. My son was dead, but now he is alive again." As music and laughter filled the house, the older son returned from the fields. Hearing the commotion, he asked the servant, "What is happening?" "Your brother has returned," the servant replied. "Your father is celebrating his homecoming." The older son's face darkened. He refused to enter the house. When his father came out to plead with him, he said bitterly, "All these years I have worked faithfully for you, yet you never threw a feast for me. But this son of yours, who squandered everything, returns, and you celebrate him." His father placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But we must celebrate. Your brother was lost and is found. He was dead and is alive again." The older son looked toward the house where joy and love filled the air. He hesitated for a moment, then took a step inside. And so, the father's love restored what was lost, proving that redemption is always within reach. This timeless parable from Luke 15:11-32 reminds us of God's endless mercy and the power of true repentance. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, The Word of Truth, for more inspiring Bible stories and faith-based content.